with Bill Maher.
One thing I wanted to do in this movie is show everybody that I had a religious background too. I'm not like different than anybody else, except that I had a mixed marriage. My father, Catholic, my sister and myself and my father used to go to church every Sunday. My mother stayed home.
Yeah.
To church.
I understood in watching the film too, when you talked a lot about how you were Catholic, you were brought up that way, and a lot of the things didn't make sense to you. I actually felt the same way growing up. Going into the confessional booth never made sense. I would try to keep track of like what sins were what and how many Hail Marys and Our Fathers I had to say and why they weren't matching up every week. I think that it's important to question religion, and I think that this is, I do. Why go blindly into something? But I do think faith is important, be it if it's not within a Catholic church or whatever temple you're at. You need to, I still think faith is important.
I feel bad. I'm just asking questions that nobody ever asks, because this is the last taboo subject.
And then when you get irrational answers, that's your joke, right?
You know the question?
Yes.
When you say
Exactly.
faith, how do you feel about faith? Because there are a lot of men, great men, who during times of trouble relied on their faith. Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Mandela when he was in prison. How do you feel about faith?
Well, faith...
organized religion.
Well, I mean, faith, if you mean believing in something with no reason to, I'm not a big fan of that. Faith means lack of critical thinking. Every politician in this country says, faith guides me, and I want to say, why is that a good thing in your job? I mean, if you're irrational, who knows? That's the point. If you're irrational about some things, if you believe a man could live to 900, who knows what you could believe?
It's a slippery slope.
Do you think that someone with faith is then stupid and irrational automatically?
I don't, because this is what we were saying, neurological disorder. It's just because there are intelligent people who are religious. They just walled off a part of your mind.
But tell them about what you learned. This movie teaches you so much about different religions. For example, the story about Jesus and Mary and Joseph is a story that has been told before. Tell that story. Tell it.
Well, God had a son.
Do like Jesus told it.
And he said, Jesus, I'm sending you on a suicide mission. But don't worry, they can't kill you because you're really me.
You know, you say...
Wait a minute. That story is not original with the Christians.
We're not going to have my faith mocked either.
But when you did this movie, you talked to a lot of people about God. Have you ever just talked to God and asked God, what does he think?
Well,
God will talk to you, Bill. It'll be real deep.
The question, did he answer you?
Did he answer? He answered me. He absolutely answered me. No, we don't need to call Bellevue.
Because that's just a voice in your...
No, it's not a voice.
You mean a God...
You should go see Rich.